For 2 years, one face was inescapable. He wasn't a doctor. He wasn't an elected official. He had no degree in epidemiology or public health. Yet, Bill Gates became the de facto global czar of the COVID-19 response. From the screens of every household, he extolled the virtues of a singular path: total vaccination.
The position he's been given in this incoming administration.
Well, he wrote a book saying that Tony Fauci and I kill millions of children and make billions of dollars with vaccines. And, people can judge for themselves whether that's correct or not.
He didn't just advocate. He othered those who questioned the mandate, branding skepticism as a danger to society. But to understand the power he wielded, you have to look at the ledger. Gates is one of the largest private funders of the World Health Organization, WHO. When the WHO speaks, it often speaks with the voice of its primary benefactor. Through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, he didn't just fund the WHO. He co-founded the very architecture of the global response. Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, CEPI, Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovations, and the Global Fund. These aren't just charities, they are the gatekeepers of global medicine. And as the world locked down, the man at the center of it all saw his influence and his wealth reach unprecedented heights.
Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. That's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
History is often written in the coincidences we ignore. In September 2019, months before the world had ever heard of COVID-19, the Gates Foundation made a strategic move. They invested $55 million in a then little-known German company called BioNTech. BioNTech would soon become the primary partner for Pfizer's mRNA vaccine. For years, Gates minimized his relationship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, calling it a mistake. But the release of the Epstein files in January 2026 tells a story far more sordid than unfortunate dinners. In the newly unsealed documents, thousands of pages of emails and notes, a disturbing narrative emerges. In July 2013, Epstein allegedly wrote emails to himself, acting as a record of his interactions with Gates. In these files, Epstein describes a man desperate to hide a double life. The files allege that Gates had been involved with several Russian women, specifically a Russian bridge player, and suspected he had contracted a sexually transmitted disease. But the betrayal goes deeper than infidelity. The documents suggest Gates asked Epstein to procure antibiotics so he could covertly administer them to his then-wife, Melinda. Think about that. The man leading the global charge for public health was allegedly attempting to secretly medicate his wife to cover up the consequences of his own illicit behavior. No consent, no honesty, just a cold, calculated move to protect a reputation. This is the man who told you to trust the science. This is the man who pushed for digital vaccine passports and mandated injections. A man who, according to the records left behind by his friend Epstein, was willing to bypass every ethical and moral boundary in his own home. The files contain draft emails from Gates' own science advisor, Boris Nikolic, who allegedly expressed dismay beyond comprehension at being asked to facilitate these morally inappropriate and ethically unsound requests, ranging from getting drugs for Russian girls to providing Adderall for bridge tournaments. If he was willing to secretly medicate the woman he shared a bed with to save his own image, what makes anyone think he wouldn't use his billions to steer global health for his own profit and power? He profited from the vaccine. He profited from the fear. And he used his influence to silence anyone who dared to ask questions.
For that, how do you feel when you become part of this whole kind of conspiracy theory stuff going on? Does that bother you? Does it get to you at all?
On a global basis, I either started it or was profiting from it and doing all sorts of strange things. That was completely unexpected. Completely making up, like saying that I profit from vaccines, or that vaccines, instead of saving millions of lives, actually are bad for children. That's a total reversal. And the fact that people needed a simple explanation during the pandemic.
But in a way, you became victim there to something that's happening to a lot of people in politics now, which is the whole fake news thing and the power of a conspiracy theory to take hold. Do you have within the organization people who are actually thinking about how you deal with stuff like that, or do you just accept it as part of the baggage of being a very wealthy, very powerful, well-known person?
Well, it's gone down somewhat with the end of the pandemic, but like there were a few malaria cases that showed up in the U.S. and people were saying, okay, that's me doing that, or I own 1/4000th of the farmland in the U.S. and people have some view that somehow connects that. Yeah, 1/4000th.
The Epstein files aren't just a tabloid scandal. They are a window into the character of a man who has positioned himself as the savior of humanity. They reveal a staggering lack of values, a disregard for the bodily autonomy of his own family, and a chilling ability to operate in the shadows while basking in the spotlight. He led the charge to get you to take an injection he had already bet millions on. He profited mightily. And he did it all while the files suggest his private life was a series of cover-ups and compromises. The question is no longer, what is Bill Gates doing? The question is, why did we let him do it? Just another layer of the wake-up call. Consider the source. Consider the motive. And finally, consider the files.
We've cut child to death in half since the turn of the century. And the main reason for that is vaccines. And we did save millions of lives during the COVID pandemic because of vaccines, that if you said their reputation would be more confused today than ever, I would have said, are you kidding? People will see that this rotavirus vaccine, which is for diarrhea, or pneumococcus for pneumonia, these are miracles. And we, managed to get these to all the children of the world. And so, instead of 10 million dying every year, we're below 5 million.
The position he's been given in this incoming administration.
Well, he wrote a book saying that Tony Fauci and I kill millions of children and make billions of dollars with vaccines. And, people can judge for themselves whether that's correct or not.